Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon. For a change, I'm recording this particular video not in the evening. This is a very splendid and very sunny afternoon out here. So welcome back. And I was away for a little while, so I guess it's about 10 days since I uploaded my last video. But I've got something quite interesting for you today. I'm sure you all will probably like it. And if you put a deep thought to it, probably you could give me a few inputs about what should be done in this particular scenario. Because ultimately, all of us educators, whatever we do, whatever we endeavor towards, it's all for the benefit of our students. So I'll just introduce the topic for today to you. And that's quite interesting. And but before that, let me welcome you formally to my channel. So a big welcome to all of you to Eloquent English Enterprise. Thank you for being here. And again, as always, a big welcome to my new subscribers. It's because of you that I feel motivated and encouraged to keep posting something new, something authentic, and something which will form an interesting viewing of the subject matter. So the topic for today is dummy schools for grades 11 and 12. All of us, as educators, we know it's so difficult, at times to make parents understand the importance of school. But they come to you and they pester the principal, they pester the staff and everyone, and sometimes they even get the reporters to say that, the school is acting very pricey and they're not trying to understand our problem. But all of you parents, kindly see this video. Please understand a very, very simple thing. Your children will never, ever go to school again in their lives. So those 2 brilliant golden years of their lives, which form the best ever years of schooling, do not take away those 2 years from them. Okay, so let's discuss the topic for today. The shadowy side of dummy schools. Okay, so before I proceed further, I'll just give you 2 main disadvantages of dummy schools, because they cater only to the entrance exams for various, professional colleges. It could be medical, it could be engineering, it could be architecture, it could be law or whatever. So they are generally, designed to help a student clear the entrance exam for a particular college. Now you'll say, of course, that's what we want. After class 12, that is the desire of every parent and every student to make it to a good college. Right, I do understand. But is it just the entrance that you need, or you want them to understand the basics or the actual knowledge of the subject that they're studying? Is that not important? Is it just the numericals that they are supposed to do or clear without understanding the concept? So keep that thing in mind. And we feel that, putting our children into this kind of coaching institute for 2 years and taking their packages from 9th to 12th, it's going to help our children in the long run. So we feel it's a shortcut. School, they attend or they do not attend, really doesn't matter. Who bothers? Like, who will see the report card? Nobody sees the report card. It's just the child feels confident. When he or she sees the report card later on also in their lives, they feel happy to see their marks, because nobody's going to, show their entrance exam results anyway. It's the 10th and 12th board mark sheets which really matter. If whenever you have to join any new office or any new company, right? So your dummy schools may look like a shortcut to success, and so, but ultimately, I think personally, I feel, and I've spoken to lots of people earlier also, but they agree with me on this, that, school is a school. You don't get that kind of feeling when you go to a coaching institute. Okay. So this path, that is of dummy schools, it's riddled with disadvantages which have a very negative impact on a student's academic and personal development. How? We all know. I'm sure you've all seen that movie Kota Factory. And you've also, I'm sure you must have read the news that so many children from these quota institutes have committed suicide. Why? Why is it happening? If all these colleges, if all these institutes are so good, then why did this happen? So let's just delve deeper into this particular concept and see why does it happen? What are the repercussions of this new trend, which has started about, I think, 10 years ago, or maybe a little earlier than that? Okay. So firstly, why did these schools come? Why did these institutions come up? So we have to do a kind of, we have to look inside. We have to see that, I mean, what were the reasons that these institutions came up? So what was wrong with traditional schooling? Okay. Firstly, when a school is good, the school authorities and principals and management, they are uh, bothered to such an extent that they have to keep taking admissions. Okay, any reputed school, I'm sure all the principals would agree with me. So what happens is, as a result, you have overcrowded classrooms. So how can a teacher pay attention to 50 or 60 children in the same section? It's humanly impossible. If they do, hats off to them. Then in our schools, I mean, the teachers will have to do a kind of self-assessment that are we not just focusing on rote learning? Are we really able to explain things to children the way they should be explained? So this kind of rote learning is being promoted. I mean, to some extent, the fault lies with us, with teachers. We are not doing exactly what is required. That's the reason why children and parents want to move out, because there probably it's more focused only on their entrance exams. Okay. Another very big factor is that our teachers are not given the kind of training and the kind of resources that they need. So they are kind of, it's like being frogs in a well. So you have water around you, but you do not know what is happening in the world. So education is something, educational technology is something which is growing with time. It's evolving. And we are keeping our teachers and students bereft of all this new technique and, the kind of changes which are taking place. So as per the change in technology, we have to train our teachers accordingly so that they become the best of educators, they become the best of resource people. This is the reason why we have this kind of outflux from schools and a movement towards coaching centers, which is definitely not a healthy sign. All right. Now, let's discuss the academic drawbacks of these dummy schools. There are lots of them, but I have just chosen a few, selected a few. Limited learning. Now you'll say limited learning, they are giving access to the world. They are making our children ready for entrance exams. Fine, yes, but they're only giving practice for entrance exams. They are not teaching them concepts. They're only giving them practice in numericals and question and answers, which they have a question bank of. So our children are studying, but they're actually not learning. They're not being educated. They are being just trained like, like you have those circus animals where it's training. It's not education. I'm sorry for using that term. So we are not treating our children as human beings. We're just you know, uh, taking them as or treating them as machines where more and more data is being put into their minds. So their learning is limited. It's not the day-to-day learning. It's not the real life situations which they'll be able to handle because they'll only be able to solve numericals. That's what we are doing. So that's why, that's the reason I call it limited learning. It's not the real learning which should actually happen. Now, again, you'll say lack of practice. Yes, they are practicing a lot of questions. They are practicing a lot of numericals. But are they doing the real concept? Are they aware of the concepts of different, theories, etc., which they must know as students so that these theories can be applied later in their lives in real life situations? No, they're only being given practice in numericals, which are again set. Okay, so please understand, you're not making them study, you're just putting more data into their minds, and we are confusing them. Okay, because the question paper that comes in the board exam is very, very different from what comes in the entrance exam. And why do we do this? Weren't the children who were doing IITs earlier, weren't they cracking those exams? They did without any coaching. I have so many people in my, immediate family circle where children have cleared IITs without being coached in any center. All right. So it's not that that is completely beyond your control or beyond your reach. You can. It's just that we have to change our outlook and we have to take help from school teachers. The school teachers have to help children because I'm sure, which I'm going to discuss very soon. Okay, now these colleges or these institutions, they just give you a shallow understanding. As I've just mentioned, it's not the concept that they deal with, it's just the question answers that they are making our children practice. The second thing is they completely neglect the board exams. Actually, in the board exam, a student can score as much as 30 marks in the practicals. But have the children actually done those practicals? They've missed the school. So if they miss school, they miss the practicals as well. And when their viva happens, they cut a sorry figure because they've not done it. Till you do something, you will not be able to answer questions on that particular topic. So at that particular time, when the board exams take place, children, they are so mentally perturbed that they spend sleepless nights just before the next paper, or maybe earlier. So other disadvantages of dummy schools are that we distance our children from the society. There are a lot of personal disadvantages as well. Firstly, it's isolation. There's a wedding in the family. No, I cannot go because I have my coaching class there. Okay, there's a birthday party. No, the child will not go. So socially, they get distanced from their loved ones, which is not a very healthy sign. We are social animals. We need to be in our society. We need to interact with our loved ones. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be just anybody. Then it gives rise to a lot of anxiety because when they read such news items, in newspapers that children have committed suicide, I'm sure it gives them a lot of discouragement. It gives them a kind of a shock inside somewhere. So anxiety is the second thing which happens after isolation. And this, again, is not good for good mental health, right? Then we have, okay, children, they forget how time management is to be done because they are only focused on one thing. Coaching classes, practice. Coaching classes, practice. They don't go to school. They don't know what are the joys of being in a school. They do not know what is the annual function. They do not know what are debates, what are declamations, what are so many different kinds of activities that are being conducted in school. So their energies are channelized into one very, very narrow direction. That's not healthy either. So time management, because they're only doing one thing, they will never ever be able to do any kind of multitasking. Okay. And then parents also create some very unrealistic expectations from them. In fact, I've heard of parents who've started putting their children into coaching right from standard or grade 7. Just imagine, are we not robbing them of their childhood? Will they ever become children again? No, they won't. Please have pity on your own children, my dear parents and teachers, okay? Do not put the pressure of unrealistic expectations on them. Unrealistic expectations, right? Yes, we do expect them to do well, but does that mean that we throw them, in some kind of abyss from where they are not able to climb back? No, that would be quite inhuman and very, very unfair. All right. So there are a few advantages. I mean, I have to see the other side of the coin also of dummy schools. And what are these? Very, very limited ones. Firstly, focused preparation. Yeah, of course. Okay, IIT, JEE, etc., etc. So they give questions and a lot of practice only on those particular exams that the child is focusing at. Then The second advantage, you could say, there are reduced distractions because children know they have to go to the coaching center. They have to sit there for about 3, 4, 5 hours. And so they do not get distracted because everybody is doing the same thing. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill kind of situation. So the children, they are not distracted. And of course, they have a very, very efficient teachers. Most of their coaches are highly experienced. They are themselves IITians. The faculty is very, very highly experienced. So that these three could be potential advantages. But then when we weigh the pros and cons, we have to weigh the pros and cons of dummy schools and the traditional schools. So when we do that, then it's definitely our own personal judgment that we have to keep in mind. Okay. So the next one then. Okay. So that's what I just said, a word of caution before we decide our course of affairs, when our children get into these classes. The disadvantages of dummy schools are much, much more than their limited advantages. So we have to weigh them both, okay? What kind of disadvantages and what kind of advantages are there? If disadvantages are more, then definitely we should go in for traditional schools. Another alternate strategy which I could, think of is that we can have coaching classes for a limited time. I mean, they could be conducted towards the evening so that the child can go to school, also enjoy his or her childhood. And then maybe for a couple of hours in the evening, they could be given that specialized kind of training. So along with regular schooling, if coaching can be merged, if we could manage it that way, that would be the ideal combination. So they'll do well in the board exams also, and probably they'll do well in these entrance papers also. So the final thought before I say goodbye, the decision of joining a dummy school should be carefully weighed. Instead of looking at short-term benefits, let us see the consequences in the long term. Because the students' academic and personal development are equally significant. Yes, they need to be selected. They need to join professional college. But their own academic and personal development should also be given a lot of importance, right? So as mature individuals, we, the parents, the teachers, the educationists, the management, all of us should opt, or we should try to opt for a balanced approach which prioritizes holistic learning and exam preparation also. That is learning of the concept so that they can be applied in real life also. And of course, how to crack a particular exam. So these things, if we keep in our mind, and we do a self-analysis, we should try to find out why children are opting for dummy schools. If we as teachers are able to find this answer, I'm sure we'll go a long way in making our students successful, both at board exams and in the entrance exams as well. Okay. So thank you so much, viewers, for being here with me today. I hope you liked this little presentation. So let's, hope to get some likes on this one. And I'll come up with something good again. I keep trying to look for some good, projects and topics where I can share my views with you. So thanks once again. And do let me know in the comment box whether you enjoyed this concept or not. And do you agree with me in what I said? And if you liked it, do give me a few likes, give me some good comments. It's always good to read because you believe me or not, but it takes me 4 to 6 hours to create each of these presentations. So if you appreciate, I'll be motivated, just like anyone else. So till the next video, it's me signing off. Goodbye, good afternoon, have a wonderful day. See you soon.